At my company, we use Microsoft Office SharePoint Server 2007 to manage records. These are files that can serve as evidence of an activity or transaction performed by the organization. Records, such as email messages and financial documents, are stored and managed in a record center site. Here's how it works. Active records, the ones currently in use, are stored on servers throughout the company where they can be viewed, edited, or distributed. When it's determined that a record is no longer active, it can be sent to the Record Center. In my company, email messages are stored on a Microsoft Exchange server, but files can be sent to the Record Center site from any type of server. The Record Center site is an Office SharePoint server site, which is managed by the company's legal department using the records management features built into the site. Office SharePoint Server 2007 makes it easy to manage millions of records. The legal department controls how files are routed to the Record Center site, controls access to the records, and determines when a record expires and can be destroyed. Our Record Center site has a number of libraries for storing different types of records, and each library has a policy that determines how records in the library are managed. To show you how a Record Center works, I'll create a new library to retain financial records. To do that, first, I'll create an information management policy that specifies rules, such as how long records are retained and how auditing is applied. Then, create a new library to which I assign the policy. Then, I'll specify how I want records to be routed to the library. Finally, I'll test the process by sending a record from an active server to the Record Center site. To create a policy, on the Site Actions menu, I click Site Settings. Under Site Collection Administration, I click Site Collection Policies. On the Site Collection Policies page, I click Create. I'll title the new policy Financial Compliance. Next, I'll type a policy statement. This statement appears when a user opens the record in a 2007 Microsoft Office system product, such as Microsoft Office Word 2007 or Microsoft Office Outlook 2007. I want to configure the policy to guarantee that any action taken on the record, such as viewing or modifying it, is recorded. So I'll enable auditing and select all of the auditing settings. Finally, I'll enter expiration information that specifies how long a record of the new type is to be retained. I want the retention period to be 10 years from the date that the document was last modified. Because no one will modify the document in the Record Center site, this will be 10 years from when the document is submitted to the Record Center. I also specify that the record be deleted after the 10 years. Note that this will cause the record to be moved to the recycle bin. A records manager will then determine if the document should be permanently destroyed. The policy is added to the Site Collection Policies gallery. Next, I'll create a library that uses the new policy. On the Site Actions menu, I click Create. I want the new library to be a document library. I'll name the new document library Financial Records and enter a description. I'll keep all the default settings and click Create. Now, I'll add the policy to the new library. In the library's Settings menu, I click Document Library Settings. Under Permissions and Management, I click Information Management Policy Settings. I'll specify the policy I want to use, Financial Compliance, and click OK. I have one more custom item to add. Under Columns, I click Add from Existing Site Columns. I've already created a group of columns called Financial Columns that mirrors the columns used on the Finance Department's active server. I marked the columns Required to ensure that the values stored in them are submitted to the Record Center with each financial spreadsheet. I'll select that now and add it to the new library. Now, document metadata will be displayed in the Record Center library the same as it is on the active server. The last thing I need to do is set up record routing on the Record Center site homepage. This specifies the library that will store each type of record submitted to the Record Center. In the Record Routing list, I click New. For a title, I type Financial Type. This identifies the routing source, which is the main content type used by the Finance Department. For a location, I'll type the name of the new library. This identifies the routing target. Now, any document with the content type Financial Type that is sent to the Record Center site is routed to the Financial Records Library. To make sure I've set up everything correctly, I'll go to the Finance Department's Active Documents site and try sending a document to the Record Center site. A central administrator in the Finance Department has already set up a connection to the Record Center site on the server hosting their Finance Department's Active Documents site. So, when I click the down arrow for a document and point to Send To, I see the Record Center site in the list of available locations to send files. I click the site. A copy of the document is sent. The document also remains on the source server and can be kept or deleted by the document owner. Note that sending a record does not have to be a manual operation. Using the object model described in the Office SharePoint Server Software Development Kit, you can create features that programmatically send records to the Record Center site. Now, I go back to the Record Center and open the Financial Records Library. There it is. The Record Center packages the document in a time-stamped folder that also contains auditing history and document properties folders. Of course, there's a lot more to records management than sending files to a record center. A complete system includes a file plan and a team composed of managers, IT professionals, a compliance officer, and information workers to make sure that records are managed in accordance with company and government policy. For more information about setting up a complete records management system, see the articles associated with this demo.